before we get there, when he talks about, there's this sentence when Bridges is talking about Endymion, so he kind of breaks down his introduction into a couple of different parts. There's this sentence on page 8. It says Keats thought to quote surprise by a fine excess, and I was just gonna that stood out to me as like, yeah, I wonder if Keats said that himself. You kind of get that from his work. Like it's a very romantic idea too. Like if you go about the
Yeah.
period, surprised by a fine excess. And I just wanted to ask you, like, do you think that sums up Keats? Do you think that's a good representation of Keats? Whatever.
Oh God, there was one that I thought was actually like a really good summing up of Keats, but I don't remember where I wrote it down. It was one of the last poems I read.
A line from an actual poem.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think that's accurate. I also think, you know, like you kind of see I wouldn't say that characterizes every single one of his poems, but I do think that was the hope.
Yeah, like the ethos, like the goal, like it says
But
very romantic notion of this kind of, yeah, like divine excesses, this like rush of life, right? Like this kind of
yeah, the rush of life was really, really big, and that you see from the beginning. Um,
celebrate yourself.
yeah, we see it
Uh,
early when he's like talking, when he's imitating Spencer, and when he's writing about Byron.
yeah, and then there's a little bit of like influence. Like Keats clearly was influenced by Wordsworth, but not just that. I mean, this is always right. You're more influenced by your peer group than almost anything else. So he was clearly kind of influenced by Wordsworth, and Wordsworth, I guess, was like one of the longer living romantics. He was like one of the only ones that actually lived to be like 80 or something.
Yeah.
The rest all died tragically, probably drunk or on drugs, or of like Keats' case, some type of illness that we have since had cures to, but didn't in 1821, like
Yeah,
tuberculosis.
you can feel the Wordsworth influence really strongly in the very beginning, in particular, I think. Or that's where it feels the most obvious to me. And again, this could be because I'm not well read in the Romantic period.
Right.
Um, Even poems called like Happy as England, I Could Be Content,
Yeah.
um, written in disgust of vulgar superstition. Um, I mean, these poems all I think kind of hint toward that like uh, sense of like encroaching industrialization.